So we all know the importance of a cohesive feed. Just one really good edited photo isn't enough because lighting's changing, time of day, location, so the colors in your shot are changing and the edits have to change with that. So we're going over how I get a consistent feed and the tools I use to do that. I've learned so much from the guest editors in the course because every time I add a guest editor, the guest editors with really cohesive feeds, because that's someone who understands color and they understand how Lightroom works. So on my phone here we have, and then I use this app called Preview. Now I don't think it's the best app, but it's just the one I first downloaded and started using, and it's working okay. So what you do is you load up all your images into here and you can move them around and position them how you want. So you slowly get your feed looking how you want. So you space out your colors, you space out your black and white photos, you space out, you don't want too many dark images right next to each other, you don't want the same location right next to each other. I think all that is quite obvious. You don't want the same lines right next to each other. So as you're posting, you just want to stay a few lines ahead of what you're actually posting on Instagram. But this is a little tip. So now you open Instagram with some of your favorite creators that you want to emulate or get close to. What you do is you lift your thumb up and then these applications come in, and then what you do is you push your thumb up on the bottom and they're able to move around. Just position them right in the middle and then screenshot, and that's just a really quick and easy way to do it. And it's just always on your phone because you might want to do this multiple times. It's better than screenshotting and putting it into Photoshop or something to put next to each other. So this just helps you see in a bigger picture if your feed is emulating someone else's feed, because when you just zoom out and look at all the images as one image, you can see if someone just has more brightness or less contrast. It's much easier this way. So that's what I do. But the key things within Lightroom to do to get a cohesive feed, firstly, you just have to understand Lightroom. You just have to understand the colors in your image. So you have to understand why the colors are in your image. When you put a preset on, why are those colors that are in your image now, why are they there? So you can figure that out by understanding the curves. You go, okay, the curves are placing these colors in this image, and then you need to know, like, that's why the shadows are really red, because you know how Lightroom is affecting your image. But if you don't understand color, you're not going to be able to, because Lightroom literally works off mathematics of color. So if you don't understand color, you simply don't know what Lightroom is thinking when it's mixing colors. Just simply have to learn color and you have to learn the tools. And once you learn color and the tools, then it's important to understand that there's no right or wrong way to move some tools. It's just the style you're trying to get. And then you can start to get the style you want. And I'd say probably the number one thing that gets a cohesive feed, if there was one tool, it's the curves, because they control both color and contrast, and they're super powerful. So they're affecting, two things very important. So just here on my website, for example, these are really new guest editors, and just from a few photos I grabbed, you can see how cohesive their feeds are, and the color palettes going on. So when they teach, they use different lighting. When I invite them to be a guest editor in the course, we pick different skin tone and different lighting, and just so you can see how you got to change the approach from one image to another image. And then by going through this program, we've had lots of the students get cohesive feeds that they love. So what I recommend is you've probably already seen my free trainings, but if you haven't, make sure you watch those basic introductions into color and the curves. But then the next step is just to really understand color. So when you've got an image in front of you, if the image is underexposed, if it's a bit dark, you're gonna have to completely change how you approach that. So it really comes down to having a system and understanding the stuff. To be honest, that's what I have tried to do in the course. And then when you look at the testimonials, a lot of people are saying, thank you, this is like a system for editing photos, this is a process, this is a formula. That's the kind of things a lot of people are saying.
I was like anti-editing basically. You distilled the formula.
And then yeah, there was the app I used, the little trick I used, and that's all I'm using at the moment to get consistent edits. And yeah, DM me on the Instagram page like the cohesive feed you want, like the style you want, and then I'll let you know how you could get there. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.